In a world full of lions, dragons, and vipers, there stands one ancient house, quiet as the snow and steadfast as stone. The Starks. They didn't rule through fear. They didn't manipulate from the shadows. And they didn't play the Game of Thrones like everyone else. But what made them so different? And how did that difference nearly destroy them? Let's talk about the North's most iconic family, and why they'll always stand apart. The story of the Starks begins long before King's Landing, before dragons, before the Seven Kingdoms. They descend from the first men, the original inhabitants of Westeros, and their bloodline stretches back over 8,000 years. Their home, Winterfell, was built by Bran the Builder, a legendary figure said to have raised the wall alongside giants and magic. Whether that's myth or fact doesn't really matter. What matters is that the Starks are old. Older than the Andals, older than the faith of the Seven, older than most of the history Westeros even remembers. But despite that ancient power, the Starks never tried to rule all of Westeros. They were kings in the north, and that was enough. They didn't expand through war. They didn't seek glory. Their legacy was built on survival. And that right there tells you everything you need to know about who the Starks really are. Winter is coming. It's more than just a motto. It's a warning, a mindset, a way of life passed down through Stark generations. While other houses played games in the capital, the Starks prepared for the long night. Not just the one with White Walkers, but all the metaphorical winters. Betrayal, war, famine, loss. They believed in caution, in realism, in duty. They weren't flashy. They weren't charming. But they endured, because they had to. That mindset made the North different from the rest of Westeros. And it made the Starks different from every other house. Most noble houses worship the faith of the Seven. The Starks still pray to the old gods, faceless spirits tied to nature and weirwood trees. Where others build cathedrals, the Starks kneel beneath ancient bark and silent forests. It's not just religion, it's identity. While the Lannisters flaunted wealth and legacy, and the Baratheons ruled through brute force, the Starks were quiet, steady, and deeply rooted in tradition. Even during the Targaryen conquest, the North was the only kingdom to bend the knee without a fight. Not because they were weak, but because they were wise. Torrhen Stark chose peace over pride and saved thousands of lives. That's a recurring theme with the Starks. They do what's right, even if it's hard, even if it costs them everything. When we first meet Ned Stark, we meet a man who still believes in justice, in honesty, in doing the right thing, even in a kingdom that has long forgotten those values. But that same honor is what gets him killed. Ned expected the truth to matter. It didn't. He thought doing the right thing would protect his family. It didn't. He played the game by the rule, but the game had no rules. And yet even in death, Ned Stark became something more. A symbol. A moral compass in a world that had none. Robb Stark tried to follow in his father's footsteps. He fought with honor, led with passion. But once again, the game punished him. He broke a marriage pact for love, and paid for it in blood. The South devoured the Starks because the South rewarded lies, not loyalty. But the Stark story doesn't end in tragedy. It evolves. Sansa is forged in fire. From the naive girl who dreamed of princes to a woman who plays the game better than most. She learns from Cersei, Littlefinger, and the worst parts of the world, and survives them all. Arya becomes something else entirely. Trained to be no one, yet more of a Stark than ever. A ghost with a blade who never forgot who she was. And Jon Snow, he's not even a true Stark by name, yet he carries the family's values deeper than anyone. He sacrifices everything, power, title, even love, for what he believes is right. And then there's Bran. He becomes the king of Westeros, not because he wanted the throne, but because he was the only one who didn't need it. He represents the next phase of Stark evolution. Wisdom over ambition, vision over vengeance. They're no longer just a family. They're a force, one shaped by pain, loss, and experience. Still grounded in honor, but now wise enough to survive. Compared to other houses, the contrast is clear. The Lannisters deal in debts. The Starks deal in loyalty. The Targaryens rule with fire and blood. The Starks protect with sacrifice and silence. The Tyrells court favor with beauty and charm. The Starks command respect with grit and truth. While others chase crowns, the Starks carry burdens. And while everyone else plays the game, the Starks remember the bigger picture. They don't seek power, they seek peace. And that's what truly sets them apart. The Starks remind us that honor can exist in a world without it. That roots matter, that family matters, that you don't need dragons or riches to lead. You just need to stand your ground when it matters most. They were never meant to win the Game of Thrones. They were meant to endure it. And in the end, after all the war, betrayal, and bloodshed, it's the Starks who remain. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of Westeros and beyond. And remember, winter is coming,